Welcome to Old Age Wisdom. Have you ever observed how a few words can alter a room's atmosphere? Perhaps you have said something casually, intending honesty, and suddenly there is silence. People might shift, look away, or change the topic. It is subtle, yet noticeable. After a while, you might wonder if you said something wrong, or if people are just overly sensitive nowadays. The truth is, as we age, our words carry more weight than we sometimes realize. They can either draw people closer or quietly push them away. Our lives are filled with experience, emotion, and wisdom, all deserving to be shared. However, how we speak about ourselves, especially in these later chapters, profoundly influences how others perceive us and, more importantly, how they feel in our presence. That is why, in today's discussion, I wish to gently explore 6 common phrases that can create distance instead of connection, pity instead of respect, and loneliness where love should be. There is no blame or shame here, just some insight, a little awareness, and perhaps a few small adjustments that can keep your relationship strong, your presence impactful, and your heart full. If these insights resonate with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Old Age Wisdom for more such conversations. Let us ease into the first one. You have likely heard it, or maybe even said it yourself. I'm just a burden. This usually stems from a place of deep vulnerability. Perhaps you are tired, in pain, or have lost some of the independence you once took for granted. So, when someone visits or offers help, it slips out. You don't need to worry about me. I'm just a burden now. However, these words, even spoken with the softest intention, land heavily on the heart of someone who loves you. They might not say anything in that moment, perhaps even smile or nod, but inside, they feel helpless. They feel that no matter what they do, no matter how much time or care they offer, it is never enough to make you feel worthy. And that quiet guilt begins to erode the closeness you once shared. Consider Walter, a widowed father I met, who was 76 and living alone. His daughter, Claire, would visit every weekend, bringing groceries and helping with chores. But each time she prepared to leave, Walter would say, "I know you've got your own life. You don't need to be looking after an old burden like me." He thought he was being considerate, saving her from guilt, but he did not see how her face fell each time. She once told me, "It's like he doesn't see the love behind what I do." Eventually, Claire started calling less often, not because she cared less, but because each visit left her feeling defeated. When you say, "I'm just a burden," what others hear is, "You shouldn't care about me," and that can quietly close a door you never intended to shut. Instead, try something simple that expresses gratitude. "Thank you for being here. It means a lot." This shift allows the other person to feel appreciated and invites closeness without obligation. It reminds both of you that love is a bond, to be nurtured with kindness. You are not a burden. You are a whole person with stories, wisdom, and value. Let us gently move to the next phrase, "Back in my day." You were likely just sharing a memory or offering perspective. After all, you have seen the world change in ways most cannot imagine. So, you say it naturally. "Back in my day, we didn't do things like that." But you may not realize how this phrase, especially when used often, can sound dismissive or judgmental to younger ears. It is like holding up a ruler from the past and measuring someone else's present against it. Your intentions might be kind, but what they hear is, "Your struggles don't matter. Our way was better." Eleanor, a bright 69-year-old, adores her grandson Jake. He just started his first job and was feeling overwhelmed. He opened up to her about his exhaustion. She listened, then said, "Back in my day, we didn't complain, we just got on with it." It was meant to inspire toughness, but Jake left feeling small, his challenges invalidated. He stopped sharing, not because he loved her less, but because he no longer felt safe being vulnerable. Your stories are a gift, but presentation matters. Instead of "back in my day," try something more inviting. "I remember facing something similar once. Want to hear how I handled it?" This way, you are connecting your world to theirs, offering a story, not a standard. This approach keeps the door open for both generations. Your continued support by liking this video and subscribing to Old Age Wisdom helps us bring more such content to you. We have touched on 2 phrases, "I'm just a burden" and "back in my day," that can unintentionally create distance. We have also explored how small shifts in our speech can lead to deeper connections. Let us continue. Another phrase that often appears when days feel heavy is, "What's the point?" These words can feel like a sigh, a way to express tiredness or a feeling that something is not worth the effort. We all feel this way sometimes. But when this phrase becomes a habit, it casts a shadow not just over your mood, but over everyone around you. When someone you care about hears you say, "What's the point?" repeatedly, it does not just sting, it unsettles them. Those words can sound like giving up, which can be heartbreaking to witness. I recall Robert, a retired coach in his mid-70s. He had always been lively, but after his wife passed, his spark dimmed. His daughter, Megan, would call, trying to get him out. "Come have dinner," she would say. More often than not, he would respond with a sigh. "What's the point?" At first, she persisted, but eventually, the energy it took to lift him became too much, not because she stopped caring, but because she felt nothing she did could reach him. That is the quiet danger of those words. You may not mean them to sound hopeless, but to others, they say, "I've stopped looking forward to life," making them feel helpless. Even if your routine has changed, your life still holds meaning. You do not have to be busy to be valuable. Your presence, your smile, your stories still matter. So, when you catch yourself about to say, "What's the point?" try asking instead, "What would bring me a little joy today?" It does not have to be big, a warm cup of tea, texting a grandchild, or listening to an old song. This one question can reshape your day and show others you are still open, still reaching. This brings me to another phrase, often used without realizing the emotional wall it builds. "You wouldn't understand." It might sound reasonable, even protective. You have lived through experiences most today have not. So, when someone younger asks how you are doing, you might hesitate and say, "Oh, you wouldn't understand." But this phrase does not just shield you, it shuts others out. It tells them there is no point trying to connect. Margaret, 84 and widowed, often said this to her kind-hearted granddaughter, Lily. Lily would try to connect, asking about Margaret's life or offering help. Margaret, meaning to keep things simple, would reply, "You wouldn't understand." Eventually, Lily stopped asking, not due to lack of care, but because she felt her presence did not matter. Connection is not built on understanding everything, but on trying. When someone asks, they are trying to sit with you, to witness your story. Instead of, "You wouldn't understand," consider, "It's hard to explain, but I'd like to try if you're open to hearing." This invites them in, showing trust. People want you to be present, to let them care. So far, we have explored 4 phrases, each familiar and influential, and discussed small shifts to keep others close. You do not need to be perfect, just willing to speak with tenderness, share with hope, and stay open. The way you speak about yourself sets the tone for how others engage with you. Let us continue. One phrase that slips out casually, potentially causing harm, is, "I'm too old for that." You might say it with a chuckle, to set boundaries, or to sound humble. And sometimes, it might be practically true. But what it often communicates is resignation, finality, that a part of you has stopped reaching for something new. George, 83 and a lifelong music lover, was asked to join a community choir. He smiled and said, "Oh no, I'm too old for that now." The offer did not come again, not because they did not want him, but because he had, without realizing, indicated his days of joining in were done. It was not just about singing. It was about laughter, belonging, and creating together. "I'm too old for that" builds a wall where a bridge could be. Of course, things change with age. We might not move as fast or lift what we used to. That is not failure. It is being human. But when you apply, "I'm too old for that," to new hobbies, friendships, or even joy, you begin to exclude yourself from the world you still belong to. There is a better way. Instead of shutting the door, try cracking it open. "That's new to me, but I'll give it a try." Or simply, "Tell me more about it." These phrases do not commit you to anything, but keep the conversation going. They say, "I'm still here. I'm still curious." And curiosity is the secret to staying alive, emotionally, spiritually, fully. When you show even a flicker of interest, people respond, include you, and share more of their world, keeping the connection alive. Aging means stepping into life differently, often bringing its own beauty. You are not too old for laughter, learning, discovery, or joy. Finally, we come to a phrase that perhaps hurts the most, both to say and to hear. I don't matter anymore. It usually slips out in a whisper, perhaps after a hard day or feeling left out. But these heartbreaking words, if repeated often, can undo years of connection. Helen, 81, once the rock of her family, started saying things like, I don't matter anymore. I'm just taking up space, as her health declined and family life got busier. Her son and grandchildren would try to reassure her, but each time she said it, they felt more helpless, unsure how to make her feel seen. Eventually, they visited less, not from lack of love, but because they did not know how to fight against her constant message that they were failing her. Those words tell others that no matter what they try, it will not be enough. But the truth is, you do matter, not because of what you can do or who calls, but because you exist, because your life has shaped others, because your story is still unfolding. The world is better with you in it. So, instead of saying, I don't matter anymore, try. Sometimes I feel invisible, but I want to feel connected. This is honest, but invites connection. It gives loved ones something to respond to. There is no age limit on love or belonging. As we conclude this conversation on old age wisdom, I gently ask you to reflect on these phrases, not with guilt, but with kindness. Perhaps you have used some recently. That is okay. What matters most is what you choose to say next. Your words have power. They shape how others see you and feel around you. My challenge to you today is this. Let go of just one of these phrases. Replace it with something softer, something that invites love. We have discussed phrases like, I'm just a burden, back in my day. What's the point? You wouldn't understand. I'm too old for that. And I don't matter anymore. And explored gentler, more connecting alternatives. If this video resonated with you, please like it and subscribe to Old Age Wisdom. Share it with others who might find it helpful, and leave a comment below with one thing you learned and how you plan to use it. Your messages mean a great deal. Here is to speaking with hope, letting love in, and living your best life, right here, right now. We will see you next time.